Okay, as far as ATC examples, oh, somebody had a question? Oh, guess not, okay. Here's one from, again, the Inner-City County Connector in Maryland. It was a freeway-to-freeway project contract. As you can see, it's probably like a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 to 4 level. And for the ATC, they proposed that. So any questions as far as that being an ATC? Again, here's what it was in the original contract scope. Here's what the ATC came out with. So there was a cost savings. Let's see, I'm trying to remember the dollar value at the moment.
Did they have to do an IR on that? And if they did, was that one of the options in the IR?
That here, as far as a freeway-to-freeway movement, they were just adding a loop ramp, so I do not remember if they had to do a interchange justification report.
If they had already done IR, would they have to revisit that?
Here, quick comment there would be that at least for federal highways, if it's a change upon, it's sort of like an environmental permit. To me, it would be you'd have to go back and at least look at the environmental traffic, because the final selected alternative would have obviously been changed from a freeway-to-freeway movement to a turn with potential additional right-of-way impacts. So there, to me, there would be, yes, there'd have to be some level of validation to the related change of impacts.
Would you have made them submit a study on the level of an IR to be able to change that?
Well, here, I guess not knowing the particular details on that, I said off, because I did a lot of these when I was in the California, is that I would have thought during the development of viable alternatives at the time the original design was created, that would have been one that would have been thought about and might have been already, say, at 20% design, but by the time environmental got approved at 30, it didn't come through to produce that one, but the contractor came back through and the state looked at the contractor's submittal, looked at the benefit and value of it, and in this case agreed to it.
Jeff, let me answer that. The answer is maybe. I know that's helpful, right? Okay. So we would ask that if this happened, that as soon as you got one of those, right, it changed in alignment like that, call us, let us sit down, see if the information that has been already provided is something that I can approve here. If it's something really out there, we'll go back to DC, but it would be an expedited review because I would assume that most of the information is available, and this is part of a design build ATC, which is a little bit different than a brand new straight up. You know, so I think we would be able to make an adjustment in the documentation locally.
345. Okay. Okay, does that help you? Okay, yeah, so again, remember, when I see little things like this, just like a change order, a mini PS&E, think of a mini PS&E. What do you do for mini PS&E? Well, everything's required. Are you already covered by the original core document? Probably, but you may have to go back to validate what the original assumptions were they carried out within a reasonable effort, and how does that change ultimately affect the price and time. Okay, so as far as alternative technical concepts, do you want to limit ATCs like I mentioned so you don't bury your core team reviewers? Because if you want time savings, get the project going, get the RFP, get the project awarded, get the notice proceed, get the contractor out to mobilize. Time is money. You want to keep moving, so keep an idea of what your resources are available to help you digest the requested information from the contracting community. So again, trying to point out, they may want to change your right-of-way width. That if you're changing right-of-way width, one way we dealt with this in California, at least when we talked about the right-of-way width, saying access line to access line. Well, working with the environmental group, I found out instead of here's the line in sand, here's the line in sand, that's what was shown in the plan, but actually the environmental group has like at least out there, we had a 100 and 200 foot buffer that they had actually studied, but their NEPA documents, special reports, only really put in information related to access line to access line. So in case we needed a temporary easement that gave you a little bit of flow, a little more comfort, work within your zone, and/or if the contractor jockeyed the alignment bit, maybe a fill slope to catch the ditch line here, maybe they want to go out, shift the line over another 10 feet. You've got environmental coverage that would have them just go in to grab their information, refine it just a touch, you're good to go. Resource agencies, again, probably shouldn't have much problem there, but if you go to the exact, say, ditch line and don't give yourself that cushion, what's going to happen to you with any changes? You're going to be in a spin cycle. You need to try to avoid that if you can. So try to plan ahead. Okay, then how's ATC rolled into the eventual award criteria? Again, stressing that you want to make the meetings confidential and however continue to request the contractor's ingenuity. Okay, then we have a little bit of the ATC's use with design bid build. Just want to throw this in, which Jerry mentioned. Missouri was one of the first states that tried this going back to the early 2000s. They like it. The last we've talked to them, as far as the in and outs, there's been, let's see, what do you say, 2-3 more states that are trying it. So the jury's still out there of how well it's working for them or not and the overall effect for the project. And then as far as stipends for ATCs, this is just a citation pulled out of our 636 related to stipends. Again, X amount of dollars. The key is on stipends, is that it's a dollar amount expected to help the proposer recover some of their costs. The discussion from the consulting community and or contractors saying they would like to have a higher payment for their work. That gets back to what dollar lines you establish, but remember, the earlier a contractor, you go out with X percentage of PS&E, a higher stipend might be needed to put a little more substance into the amount of information that they're having to deal with and or may have to develop on their own. So it's eligible expense as far as federal highways. Again, you get to establish the criteria, but it can help promote competition and stress ingenuity. Okay, as far as an ATC, this is just an example of what they used on a design and bid build project for MoDOT. And the reality is that they ended up changing the drilled shafts and spacing to a little bit smaller but more shafts, and if I remember right, it saved $5 or $6 million total on that bridge project.
Is this the bridge at Cape?
I'm sorry?
Is this the bridge at Cape Girardeau? That crosses Mississippi River at Cape Girardeau?
Yes.
No, this bridge here, I was area engineer on this bridge.
Where's it at?
St. Louis?
Okay.
And-
The one at Cape is very similar to that, though.
Well, it was interesting. The bridge itself was $500 or $600 million, and there was a lot. We can talk afterwards, but this is in St. Louis.
That took care of that one that had been there for, going back to the interstate era, in the late 50s, early 60s. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the thing on the ATC is recognize it. It's basically this was a signature bridge doing the cable stay and all that kind of stuff, but with the foundation, that's just one example where the contractor was able to show some savings for all to recover from. Okay, as far as ATC references, giving you an idea of our, for our website, again, in our ACM library, we do have the ATC page, and we have also other references to the state's ATC websites, Jerry's ATC SCP 14 website. And I wanted to highlight, and I think Jerry mentioned this in his, that NCHRP, National Cooperative Highway Research Program, which is also works with as part of TRB, Transportation Research Board. That's a very good resource if when you're wanting to see what's happening out nationally. They're very proactive, very on the spot with getting information for state-of-the-art practice from a variety of states. And better yet, on the topics, they're pretty good at chasing down an answer from the majority of the states out there So it gives you a good range of answers and potential applications for your particular topic that you may be interested in.
Okay.
Yes.
On that last picture, why would that be an ATC to change the foundation if they like to have to design that bridge as part of the project?
Well, no, here it was a design bid build project. So they had already got to that level, and I guess the way, to me, would be, when I first saw it, it's sort of like, why wasn't it a value engineering cost proposal, right? So it gets back to definition and what your criteria is.